Before this shocking moment happened, his life was full of pain, struggle, and humiliation. His name was Ethan. He was born in a small, forgotten village where poverty was a daily reality. His father worked as a construction laborer, while his mother washed other people's clothes just to earn a few coins. From a very young age, Ethan learned one cruel lesson. Life was never fair to the poor. Many nights he went to bed hungry. Many mornings he walked to school with empty stomach and worn-out shoes. While other children carried new backpacks, Ethan carried only a torn bag and a heart full of hope. But that hope was often crushed. At school, he was constantly mocked. "Hey, poor boy, why do you even come to school? Go home and beg for food." Their laughter cut deeper than any wound. Still, Ethan kept his head down and studied harder than anyone else. Because deep inside he believed education was his only way out. Every afternoon, while other kids played, Ethan worked. He helped farmers in the fields. He carried heavy loads at the local market. He cleaned dirty floors in small shops, all for a few coins. At night, under the dim light of a broken lamp, he studied. Sometimes his eyes burned with exhaustion. Sometimes tears dropped silently onto his books. But he never stopped, because he had a promise. "One day, I will change my life." When Ethan was 16, tragedy struck. His father collapsed at work and never woke up again. In a single moment, Ethan became the man of the house. School became a luxury they could no longer afford. With a broken heart, Ethan dropped out. That night, he cried for hours. Not because of pain, but because of lost dreams. Yet, the next morning, he stood up and made a decision that would change everything. He would leave his village. He would go to the big city. He would fight. With only a small bag and a few coins in his pocket, Ethan boarded an old bus. As the village disappeared behind him, he whispered, "I will come back, as a better man." In the big city, reality was cruel. No one cared about his dreams. No one cared about his struggles. He worked as a construction worker, a delivery boy, a car washer, a street cleaner. Sometimes he worked 18 hours a day. Sometimes he slept on cold sidewalks. Sometimes he skipped meals just to save money. But he never complained, because he knew every drop of sweat was building his future. One night, exhausted and starving, Ethan sat alone on a sidewalk. Rain poured heavily, cold, hungry, broken. For the first time, his heart whispered, "Maybe I can't do this anymore." But then he remembered his mother, working day and night, waiting for him to succeed. Slowly, he clenched his fists, wiped his tears, and stood up again. Little did he know that his darkest nights were shaping him into someone extraordinary. And just when he thought life couldn't get any harder, a heartbreaking betrayal was waiting for him. Ethan finally found a small job at a local warehouse. The pay was low, the work was heavy, but for him it was hope. For months he worked harder than anyone else. He never complained. He never rested. Slowly, the owner began to trust him. One day, Ethan was asked to deliver an important package to a luxury hotel. It was his first time entering such a place. The bright lights, the elegant people, the expensive cars. He felt out of place. As he walked inside, wearing his old jacket and worn shoes, people began to stare. Some whispered. Some laughed. Then suddenly, a loud voice echoed, "Hey, what are you doing here?" A security guard grabbed Ethan's arm. "You think this is a place for someone like you?" "I'm here to deliver a package," Ethan said calmly. The guard looked at him from head to toe and scoffed. "Stop lying. People like you don't belong here." Everyone began to watch. Some guests smirked. Some shook their heads in disgust. Humiliated, Ethan tried to explain. But before he could finish, the guard pushed him toward the door. "Get out before I call the police!" The package fell from his hands. His face burned with shame. For a moment, he stood frozen. Then, with trembling hands, he picked up the package and walked out. Outside, rain poured heavily. Ethan stood there, soaked, humiliated, and broken. Tears mixed with the rain on his face. At that moment, he felt smaller than ever. Not because he was poor, but because he was treated like he had no worth. That night, he returned to his tiny room and stared at the ceiling. His heart whispered, "Why is life so cruel to me?" But deep inside, a small voice answered, "Because you are meant for something greater." Ethan clenched his fists, and once again he made a promise. "I will rise, no matter what it takes." He didn't know it yet, but this humiliation would become the fire that changed his destiny forever. The next morning, Ethan woke up before sunrise. His body was sore. His heart was still heavy, but something inside him had changed. He was tired of being weak, tired of being humiliated, tired of being treated like nothing. That day, after finishing his work at the warehouse, Ethan stayed late. He cleaned the storage room, organized old files, and repaired broken shelves. While working, he found a dusty box full of old business books. Curious, he opened one and began to read. That night, he didn't sleep. For the first time, he learned about money, business, investment, and mindset. Every page opened his eyes. He realized something shocking. Poor people work for money. Rich people make money work for them. From that moment on, Ethan changed. Every spare minute he read. During lunch breaks, he studied. At night, he watched free business lectures online. Slowly, his mind transformed. One evening, the warehouse owner noticed him staying late again. "Why don't you go home?" the old man asked. Ethan hesitated, then answered honestly, "I want to learn. I don't want to stay poor forever." The old man stared at him for a long moment, then smiled. "My name is Mr. Harris," he said. "I built 3 companies from nothing." From that day on, Mr. Harris became Ethan's mentor. He taught him how to save, how to invest, how to see opportunities where others saw problems. Under his guidance, Ethan worked harder than ever. He saved every single dollar. He skipped unnecessary meals. He avoided useless spending. Month by month, his small savings slowly grew. After 2 years, Ethan made his first investment. It was small, risky, but calculated. At first, he lost. Then he tried again, and again, until finally, he succeeded. For the first time in his life, Ethan made money without physical labor. Tears filled his eyes as he stared at his tiny profit. It wasn't much, but to him, it was everything. Because for the first time, he saw a future. But just when his life began to change, a dark betrayal was silently approaching, and it would test his heart, his courage, and his faith. Ethan's life slowly began to change. With the guidance of Mr. Harris, he learned how to invest, manage money, and build small businesses. His savings grew. His confidence grew. And for the first time, hope felt real. Soon, Ethan met a man named Victor. Victor seemed kind, friendly, and ambitious. He spoke with passion about building a business together. "You're smart, Ethan," Victor said. "With your skills and my connections, we can become successful." Ethan hesitated, but Victor looked sincere, so he trusted him. They started a small trading business. At first, everything went well. Orders increased. Profit came in. Their future looked bright. Ethan worked day and night. He handled the operations, the calculations, the strategy. Victor handled the clients and suppliers. For months, their business grew rapidly. Ethan believed he had finally found a true partner. But behind that smile, a dark plan was forming. One evening, Ethan came to the office and found the door locked. He tried to call Victor. No answer. He checked the company account. His heart dropped. The money was gone. Every single dollar. Panic rushed through his veins. He ran to Victor's apartment, but the room was empty. Victor had disappeared, along with all their savings, all their dreams, all their sacrifices. That night, Ethan sat alone in the dark. His hands trembled. His chest felt tight. Months of hard work, gone in a moment. For the second time in his life, he lost everything. Betrayed, broken, defeated. Tears rolled down his face, not because of the money, but because of the trust that was destroyed. He whispered softly, "Why, again?" For days, Ethan couldn't sleep, couldn't eat, couldn't think. His world collapsed. But in the middle of his despair, he remembered something Mr. Harris once told him. Failure is not the end. It is the lesson that prepares you for greatness. Slowly, Ethan stood up. He wiped his tears and took a deep breath. "I will not give up," he said. "I will start again, from zero," because deep inside, he knew. This betrayal would not break him. It would build him. After the betrayal, Ethan lost everything. His savings, his business, his dreams. He returned to working small jobs. Car washing, night shifts, heavy labor. But now his heart felt heavier than his body. Each day felt endless. Each night felt empty. Sometimes he stared at the ceiling, asking himself, "Is this all my life will ever be?" One cold evening, Ethan collapsed at work. His body could no longer handle the exhaustion. He woke up in a small clinic. The doctor shook his head. "You need rest. Your body is worn out." But Ethan only smiled weakly. "How can I rest when I have nothing?" He left the clinic with borrowed money. Outside, rain poured heavily. He walked alone through empty streets. Hungry, tired, hopeless. That night he had no money for food. He sat on the sidewalk, hugging his knees, trying to stay warm. Tears fell silently. For the first time, he felt completely defeated. Memories flooded his mind. His mother working endlessly, his father collapsing at work, the humiliation, the betrayal. Everything crushed his heart at once. His breath trembled, and for a moment, he thought about giving up. But then, he heard a soft voice in his heart. "You've survived worse." Slowly, Ethan lifted his head and whispered, "I'm still alive." The next morning, Ethan stood up again, weak, hungry, but determined. He went back to Mr. Harris and told him everything. The old man listened silently, then placed a hand on Ethan's shoulder. "Pain shapes warriors," he said. "If you don't quit now, your future will be extraordinary." Those words burned into Ethan's soul. That day, he made a decision. He would rebuild. Smarter, stronger, wiser, no shortcuts, no blind trust. Only hard work, discipline, and patience. Because he knew this rock bottom was not his end, it was his foundation. Ethan started again from zero, but this time he was different. He was no longer naive, no longer careless, no longer desperate. He became patient, careful, focused. Every morning he woke up before sunrise. He studied business strategies, analyzed market trends, learned from past mistakes. Then he worked, not just hard, but smart. With the little money he had saved, Ethan started a small online business. He sold simple products, cheap items, high demand, low risk. At first, there were no sales. Days passed. Nothing. But Ethan didn't quit. He improved his product descriptions, learned digital marketing, studied customer behavior. Slowly, orders began to come. One order, then 2, then 10. Each notification made his heart beat faster. For the first time after a long fall, hope returned. Months passed. His small business grew. He reinvested every profit. He didn't buy luxury. He didn't waste money. Every dollar went back into growth. His tiny room became a mini office. Boxes everywhere. Laptop always open. Sleepless nights became normal again. But this time, they were filled with purpose. One day, a major client contacted him. They wanted a large supply. It was a risky deal. One mistake could destroy everything. But Ethan trusted his calculations. He took the risk, and it worked. The profit was bigger than anything he had ever earned. He stared at his screen in disbelief, then slowly smiled. This was just the beginning. From that moment on, his business expanded rapidly. New clients, new products, new opportunities. Ethan hired his first employee, then his second, then his 10th. His small business became a growing company, and his name slowly began to spread in the industry. But deep inside, Ethan never forgot the pain, the hunger, the humiliation, the betrayal. They became his fuel. They reminded him never to be arrogant, never to be careless, never to look down on others. Little did the world know, the poor boy they once ignored was quietly becoming a powerful man. As Ethan's business grew, so did the pressure. Big money meant big risks. Every decision could bring success or total destruction. One day, a massive investment opportunity appeared. A multinational company wanted to partner with Ethan's firm. The deal could multiply his business overnight. But there was a catch. They demanded huge capital and strict deadlines. One mistake, and everything could collapse. For days, Ethan barely slept. He analyzed contracts, calculated risks, checked every detail. This was the biggest gamble of his life. Some employees warned him, "It's too dangerous." Others encouraged him, "This is our chance." Ethan stood in silence. He remembered his past failures, the betrayal, the collapse, the pain. Then he took a deep breath. "We move forward," he said, "but carefully." The following weeks were brutal. Deadlines were tight. Pressure was unbearable. Problems appeared everywhere. Suppliers delayed shipments. Costs increased. Competitors tried to sabotage the deal. At one point, everything nearly fell apart. Ethan worked day and night, solving problems, negotiating contracts, motivating his exhausted team. Sometimes he closed his eyes and whispered, "Please let this work." Finally, the deadline day arrived. The meeting room was silent. Executives waited. Documents lay on the table. Seconds felt like hours. Then the lead director stood up. "We are satisfied," he said. "The partnership is approved." For a moment, Ethan couldn't breathe. Then, relief washed over him. His team erupted in joy. Years of struggle had finally paid off. This single deal changed everything. His company's value skyrocketed. Media began to notice him. Business magazines started writing about him. Investors lined up. In just a few years, Ethan became one of the youngest CEOs in the city. But success never changed his heart. He still lived simply, still dressed modestly, still remembered where he came from. Because he knew true wealth was not money, it was humility. And unknowingly, he was about to walk back into the place where his humiliation once began. Years had passed. Ethan was no longer the poor boy from the village. He was now a respected CEO. But despite his success, his lifestyle never changed. Simple clothes, old shoes, quiet attitude, no luxury, no arrogance. One day, Ethan received an invitation, a high-level business meeting at a luxury hotel. The same hotel where he had once been humiliated and thrown out. For a moment, memories flooded his mind. The stares, the laughter, the shame. He closed his eyes, then calmly said, "I will go." On the day of the meeting, Ethan dressed simply as usual. Plain jacket, simple shirt, no expensive watch. His driver waited outside in a luxury car, but Ethan chose to walk inside alone. Step by step, his heart remained calm. The lobby looked exactly the same. Bright lights, elegant decor, busy guests. But this time, Ethan walked differently. Not with fear, but with confidence. As he approached the entrance of the restaurant, a familiar voice stopped him. "Hey, where do you think you're going?" Ethan turned. A security guard stood there. Different face, same cold eyes. "This area is for VIP guests only," the guard said. Ethan smiled politely. "I have a meeting." The guard looked at his clothes and frowned. "Show your invitation." Ethan calmly reached into his pocket. But before he could take it out, the guard raised his hand. "Don't waste my time. You don't belong here." People began to stare. Whispers filled the air. Ethan felt the familiar weight of humiliation. But this time, he did not lower his head. He stood still, silent, waiting, because in just a few minutes, everything was about to change. The atmosphere in the lobby became tense. People stopped walking. Some guests whispered. Others stared curiously. The security guard crossed his arms. "You heard me. Leave now." Ethan remained calm. He slowly took out the invitation card and handed it over. The guard glanced at it for a second, then scoffed. "Nice try. Fake invitations are common these days." He threw the card back at Ethan. Laughter echoed softly around them. Ethan felt the familiar sting of humiliation, but he didn't move. He simply stood there, silent, waiting. Minutes later, a group of executives walked into the lobby. In the middle of them was the hotel manager. His eyes suddenly stopped. His face turned pale. Mr. Ethan?" The manager rushed forward. Everyone froze. The security guard frowned. "Sir, this man is causing trouble." But the manager raised his hand sharply. "Stop!" He turned to Ethan and bowed slightly. "We sincerely apologize, Mr. Ethan. We didn't recognize you." The lobby went silent. You could hear a pin drop. "Mr. Ethan?" someone whispered. The manager picked up the invitation card. "This is our most important guest today," he said loudly. "He is the CEO of one of the fastest growing companies in the region." Shock spread across every face. Murmurs exploded. "No way. That's him? The poor-looking guy?" The security guard's face turned white. His knees trembled. I'm sorry, sir. I didn't know." Ethan looked at him quietly. No anger, no pride, only calm. At that moment, the executives approached. "Mr. Ethan, we've been waiting for you," one of them said respectfully. They shook his hand, invited him inside. Every eye followed him. The same people who once mocked him now stared in disbelief. As Ethan walked past the security guard, he paused for a second, then softly said, "Never judge someone by their appearance," and continued walking. But what Ethan would do next would leave everyone completely speechless. Inside the restaurant, the atmosphere was completely different. Luxury, silence, respect. All eyes were on Ethan. Some guests whispered nervously. Others avoided his gaze. They still couldn't believe. The man they had mocked minutes ago was now sitting among powerful executives. The security guard stood frozen near the entrance, his face pale, his hands trembling. He expected anger. He expected humiliation. He expected punishment. But none of that came. Ethan sat calmly. He listened to the business discussion. He spoke clearly, confident, sharp. Every word commanded attention. Everyone in the room quickly realized. This man was not ordinary. After the meeting, the manager approached him. "Mr. Ethan, we deeply apologize for what happened." Ethan nodded gently. "I understand," he said softly. "No one is perfect." The manager hesitated. "Would you like us to take action against the security guard?" The room fell silent. All eyes turned to Ethan, waiting. For a moment, Ethan looked toward the entrance. The guard stood there, shaking with fear. Ethan remembered his own past. The hunger, the humiliation, the cold nights. Then he took a slow breath and said something no one expected. "Give him another chance." Gasps filled the room. The manager looked shocked. "Sir?" "He was only doing his job," Ethan continued calmly. "I don't want anyone to lose their livelihood because of me." The security guard's eyes filled with tears. He bowed deeply. "Thank you, sir. Thank you." Ethan stood up. Before leaving, he added one final sentence. "Respect should not depend on wealth or appearance." Silence followed. His words sank deep into every heart. But Ethan wasn't done yet. What he planned next would change many lives. After the meeting, Ethan didn't go home. Instead, he asked his driver to take him somewhere else. A place that held painful memories. The poor neighborhoods, where hungry children played barefoot. Where tired parents worked endlessly. Where dreams often died quietly. Ethan stepped out of the car and walked slowly. Nothing had changed. The same broken houses, the same tired faces, the same silent suffering. His heart tightened. He remembered himself, a small boy with empty pockets and endless hope. That day, Ethan made a decision. He contacted his foundation. Within hours, trucks arrived. Food supplies, clothes, school equipment. Children gathered in disbelief. Parents wiped tears from their eyes. No one knew who the man was. They only saw kindness. Ethan walked through the crowd quietly. He spoke to the children, encouraged them to study, told them to never give up. Their smiles warmed his heart. Then he visited his old village. He stood in front of his childhood home. The fragile wooden walls, the cracked floor. Tears filled his eyes. "I made it, Mom," he whispered. "I kept my promise." Soon construction began. A free school, a small clinic, clean water facilities, all built for the people who once lived in darkness. Ethan never asked for recognition. He never wanted praise. For him, success had only one meaning: to lift others up. But the world was about to learn that true greatness is not shown by power, but by compassion. News of Ethan's kindness slowly spread. People began to talk, not about his wealth, not about his power, but about his heart. Journalists tried to interview him. Business partners praised him. Social media called him a hero. But Ethan avoided the spotlight. He preferred silence, because he remembered, true value is not in being seen, but in making a difference. One evening, Ethan stood alone on the balcony of his apartment. The city lights sparkled below. He thought about his long journey, the hunger, the humiliation, the betrayal, the struggle. Every painful moment had shaped him. Without them, he would not be who he was today. He closed his eyes and whispered, "Thank you, not for the success, but for the lessons." The next day, Ethan returned to the luxury restaurant, not for business, but to meet the security guard. The man stood nervously when he saw him. I'm sorry again, sir." Ethan smiled. "There's nothing to forgive," he said gently. Then he handed him an envelope. Inside was a scholarship for his child and a promotion recommendation. The guard broke into tears. "I will never forget this." Ethan placed a hand on his shoulder. "Just remember one thing," he said softly. "Kindness can change lives." As Ethan walked away, his heart felt light. He realized something important. Success had given him comfort, but kindness had given him peace. And that was the greatest reward of all. Final message: never judge someone by their appearance, because behind simple clothes may live a powerful soul, and behind a humble smile may hide a story of endless struggle.